General MacArthur drops an atomic bomb.
Hello everyone, welcome back. This is turn 3 of 1951. Turn 3 for the communists was a pretty stellar turn, with the communists capturing Paris and Rome, while also destroying the largest concentration of Allied forces in the Pacific at this point. So now we round out to start the Allied turn. For the United States, they are purchasing 2 diplomacy dice, a transport and an air transport, an infantry, 2 airborne. They've constituted the 13th Airborne Division, the 4th Marine Division, and a tank. NATO is going all in on diplomacy and a minor factory. They only had 23 IPC to spend since 2/3 of their IPC went to the Russians after losing both Rome and Paris. And then finally, Sato is going with a minor factory and 3 tanks. So we'll quickly get the diplomacy rolls done. The communists will spend their IPC to try and stop them. So first, the United States is going to try and flip Spain. Ooh, they got a 1. That's not good. That means the Russians, if they so choose, the communists, if they so choose, they could try diplomacy and succeed on a 5 or less. And then NATO is going to try diplomacy for Finland. There's the 6. And China spent theirs to try and block. So, and they did not. So NATO opened up Finland for 2 IPC. Yep, 2 IPC. And we'll be able to put 5 infantry onto it, though they will not be able to do that, though the 5 infantry will not be able to move until the non-combat. But NATO has unlocked that. We'll get the 5 infantry down. And so that's all the diplomacy and tech. So now we'll move on and we'll get ready to plan the Allied strikes and attacks, and we'll be back. All right, so then one quick admin note to the purchase. NATO did have 1 IPC left, and they are going to use it to repair that battleship. Okay, going over into attacks. So we'll kind of go. So first, NATO is launching 2 airstrikes against these 2, against the 2 Russian transports, which are automatic kills because there's no aircraft defending them. Their tank with the newly conquered Finland is going to blitz through Finland and take Murmansk for 1 IPC. Yep, for 1 IPC. Go over to here real quick. Okay, in Europe, how it's going to go is that the Americans are going to use their atomic bomb to attack the Soviets in Paris. However, they only have 3 aircraft to get them through, while the Soviets have scrambled 5 aircraft to fight them off. At the same time, the nuclear effects have started to wear off in northern Germany, and the Army of the Rhine is going to smash into the Soviet flank in southern Germany while leaving a force behind to cover northern Germany. In the south, the Italian army has broken off part of its group and is going to go into the attack into southern Europe, or southern Italy, which actually these 2 tactical bombers, 1, 2, 3, will actually join the assault. So I'll put them over here with the assaulting force. And then so that's it for Europe. And then just real quick over in Asia, the Americans are going to try a attack into Kamchatka. So we'll just start with the battle in Kamchatka. So it's 2 infantry against the Russian infantry. So, pretty simple. Alright, the 2 American infantry for 1. Ooh, they got him. And the Russian infantry for 2. When he got 1. A trade of 1 to 1. However, the Americans do take Kamchatka. And that'll be 1 IP. That'll be a subtraction of 1 IPC from the Russians. Okay, next we'll go into the attack in southern Italy. So we got 2 artillery, 7 tanks, and 2 tactical fighters for 4. And the Russians are defending with 3 infantry and 3 tanks. Okay. All right, so the 2 NATO artillery for 2, nothing. The 7 NATO tanks for 3. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. And then the 2 tactical bombers with target selects of 1. And I got 1 of the tanks. Alright, so the 3 Soviet infantry. Ooh, they got 2 hits. And the 3 Soviet tanks. 2 more hits. 1, 2, so that... Yeah, 1. So yeah, 1, 2. Oh, wait, no, that becomes 4. That'll work. Okay, clearing the board. Well, it's a capital. We got to try and take it back. It's a victory city, so we got to try and take it back. So that's 4 NATO tanks for 3. Got 1, and the 2 tactical bombers, and they got them. The 2 Soviet tanks. Both misses. Alright, so NATO regains control of Rome. Good for them. Southern Italy is worth 3 IPC as well. So the Allies will get, or NATO will get 3 IPC back. Sorry. So that's what it now looks like. NATO went up to 59 and the Russians dropped down to 63. Okay, next. Get those guys back on the board over there. Let's see here. Next we will try the atomic bomb against the atomic bomb. No. Well, first we got to get the air battle complete. It's gonna be a risky one. Don't know if this is gonna work. Okay. All right, let's go for it. All right, so NATO is rolling 2 for 1 in the air battle. Misses, and rolling 2 for 2 in the air battle. Got 1 of the Soviet fighters. So the 2 Soviet fighters for 1. Misses, and 3 Soviet jets for 2. Oh, and they missed 2. All right, so the atomic bomb is effectively dropped. So we roll 1 die for damage against the Soviet land army. Maxed out with 6. All right. That was a sigh of relief. And then there is a factory and an air base. So a result of 1, 2, or 3 is the air base. On a result of 4, 5, or 6 is the factory. Try again. And the air base is max damaged in Paris. France has been nuked, which means the Soviets will lose the 3 IPC from France for 3 turns. Their army, which lost 6 tanks, is now stuck for an entire turn. They can't leave and nothing can enter, and the Allies cannot enter or leave next turn as well. Or enter, well, cannot attack into their next turn either because of the radiation effects. So that happened up there. So now we can move on to the ground attack in southern Germany. And because these fighters scrambled, they have to sit out and wait. If I remember correctly, I think they have to sit out and wait until the battle's over. And unfortunately, if southern Germany falls, which it more than likely will, they will have to land in France and be paralyzed as well for the next turn. 1 second. Get the battle board set up. So you two will just sit off to the side for now. Well, actually, because we're going in the attack with 3 artillery, they'll cover those 2 infantry. Not going in with any air power. Okay, so the attack into southern Germany. We have 5 for 2. And it's a score of 1. And 8 for 3. 1. Okay, the Soviets will counterattack with 2 for 2. They got 1 hit, and the Soviet mobile artillery, being the last remaining unit, will attempt a retreat. And he survived, so I will probably retreat him into, slide him aside, and we'll put him down with the forces in northern Germany. Southern Germany has been reclaimed, effectively cutting off the Russian army in the north. Russia goes down to 58 IPC, and the United States goes up to 52. Yeah, goes up to 52. And then we raided the Murmansk. We won there. All right, that is all the attacks this turn. So we can go right into non-combat. Let's see here. I think what we can start with, we'll start in Europe, we'll start in Europe. So now that because it is the non-combat turn, the neutral forces can now move. And the 5 Finnish infantry will move in to help secure, well, we'll leave 1 in Finland. The rest will move to secure Murmansk, or help secure Murmansk with that armor division. The fighter will come back. Well, the fighter and the tactical bomber will go back to Denmark. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, the fighter has to go back to Norway. In Central Europe itself, he's fixed, so he's ready to go. The three transports off of Britain are going to take, so these can go on 2 transports. They'll also transport the American artillery over to the NATO army in Holland, Belgium. Yeah, up to Holland, Belgium. Let's see here. The fleet here off of Portugal go 1, 2, 3. Drop the 3rd Army in Tunisia. Maybe I'll get a marker for. Maybe I'll get a small fleet marker. Actually, why not? So we are now going to constitute the United States 2nd Fleet, because the aircraft carrier is also going to move from Italy and move in and help them. Same with the transport. And we'll even throw the 2 tactical bombers onto the aircraft carrier as well to provide the fleet some air protection. On the card right here. So yeah, we'll put the 2 tactical bombers on here to provide naval defense for this force. Next, I think that's everything in Europe. Excuse me. It's everything in Europe. So those Soviet aircraft that got trapped, they will unfortunately have to land in France and be paralyzed for a full turn. This NATO transport, and actually we're going to leave the NATO transport there. This NATO destroyer is going to go 1, 2, 3. That Sato fighter is going to go 1, 2, 3, come home to the Philippines. The massive U.S. First Fleet here with its 2 battleships, cruiser, carrier, 4 destroyers, sub, and transports are going to retreat back down here. They're going to drop the units off in the Philippines. And then the fleet off the Marianas. The transport is going to go 1, 2, join the 1st Fleet, drop off the 3rd Marine Division and the anti-aircraft gun off in the Philippines. The carrier force is actually going to move north and go 1, 2, 3 to the opposite side of Midway. Okay, and then the forces from the Western United States on these 2 transports will pick up the reconstituted 1st Marine Division, the 2 tanks, and the infantry, and we'll go 1, 2, 3. And we'll drop off those reinforcements in Kamchatka to reinforce the American bridgehead there. Yeah, they'll come up and reinforce the American bridgehead. Meanwhile, these two, this infantry and artillery, will load up on the air transport and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to the Philippines, where I think we have enough where we'll, once again, U.S. military command will reconstitute, yet again, the U.S. 8th Army. And we will get all these pieces onto the 8th Army board after we're done here. Other than that, that should mark the end of the Allied turn. Oh, the bomber, which went 1, 2, 3, will go back to England for its 6 moves. And 1, 2, 3, this fighter will go back to Belgium, and the 2 jets will go back to Belgium as well. I think they came from Belgium, if I remember correctly anyway. So they will retreat back to they will head back to Belgium. Right, at the end of the turn. So that's the end of the turn all around. Not too bad. We, against de Gaulle's wishes, we nuked Paris. Thus, I mean, oh wait, oh, no, hold on, we got a couple other moves. All right, the American jet here is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to land in Belgium as well. Real quick, am I missing anything? Okay, no. No, I know I'm not. So they've paralyzed the Russian forces around Paris. They've taken Rome back. Now Russia's got to hurry up to figure out their Victory City issues. We're holding off in Malaya, but it's not going to be much longer till it probably falls. And we've taken the initiative to try and open up a flank in the out in the Soviet Far East. And so at the end of the turn, NATO will collect 59 IPC. The United States will get 52. SATO will get 25 plus its war bonds roll of 4, so they'll get 29 for next turn. All in all, still a pretty decent round for both sides. We'll just have to see how turn 4 goes. Oh wait, real quick. All right, forgot. Now we gotta drop the deployments. Excuse me. Okay, so this NATO factory was going to deploy in, Holland, Belgium, so it could be protected by the NATO armies up north. All the American forces will be sent to the western United States. Well, actually, I'll just keep it pointing at the western United States. Okay. And then finally, the SATO purchases. Their miner is going on the Philippines, and their 3 tanks are going to join the other 3 tanks that have been forward deployed into Malaya to try and beef up the defenses before the communists attack. All right. Okay, so as I said at the end, SATO will get 24 IPC, the United States 52, and NATO 59. So, until turn 4, guys, take care.